Namaste. Prakash again here with the next episode of Does God Exist? I have a very good friend of mine who also happens to be an English teacher. In one of a conversation I had, we had a very humorous, interesting twist to the entire topic that we have been talking about and deliberating about. He gave me a very interesting input. He said, Prakash, if you come to this topic of God existing or not, predominantly there are three kind of positions that people take. The first one is whom you call as a theist, or a person who claims that God does exist in whichever way, in whichever form, or whichever interpretation that he's going to present. And then you have the other person who claims to be an atheist, or a person who says God doesn't exist or there is no need for a God. Things happen on their own. Universe is capable of taking care on its own. You don't need an external entity to handle this. And then the third position is that of an agnostic. A person who's neither saying God exists nor he says he doesn't exist, but they sort of maintain a neutral position. These are the three main positions that people take, and of course humorously said there's a fourth category. He said, I don't care a damn. Why do I have to worry? Leave that alone. He said all these three positions can be explained in English through a very simple statement, and all of them are fighting on this single statement, and that was the humorous twist that he gave, and with his capability in English. He said, take the statement, God is there. Is God there? If God is there, that's all. Totally three positions that these people take. They all emanate from one single statement. When the person says God is there, he becomes a believer. Is God there? He becomes apparently a non-believer. And then if God is there, he becomes an agnostic. It's like three different people dividing a 360-degree pie into 120 degrees each, and then looking from their own perspective and saying that 120 degrees that they see is what the world is all about. They said if people learn to look at 360 degrees at the other two positions of 120 degrees each, 240 degrees plus their own 120, they will all learn to understand. Is there a need for everyone to have to agree to a point that God exists or he doesn't exist, or if he exists? He said not at all. Peaceful coexistence is all about going towards a situation where you don't need to fight over the existence of non-existence of something. He said, for example, if a mother loves a child, the child doesn't need any proof that the mother loves. The mother loves and the child gets the benefit out of it. Or the mother doesn't love, the mother hates the child for whatever reason. It is equally true. In none of these situations, you need an external proof that whatever is happening or transpiring needs to be proven. He said the moment the need to prove or to disprove or waiting for a proof to happen is something that would put this topic to rest. Very, very profound philosophical truth. I also learned from my guru, Daji, that when you start looking within and start asking questions, answers will be revealed. Many of the greatest revelations that happened in the world have come through by people who meditated on a question long enough for it to reveal the correct answer to them. If you are a theist, you believe in the concept that God is there, and then start meditating inside of you to see if an answer can be found which satisfies your query. It is like finding a proof in a scientific way. If you are an atheist, again meditate on the question, God is not there, and start moving towards whatever satisfies you or gives you the proof that God doesn't exist. Or if you are an agnostic, wanting to know which side to take a jump into, ask a question, if God is there, and then meditate on it. All three have the same tools with which they can go ahead and find out. Yet, all three divergent views can peacefully coexist. And hence he said, the topic would remain hot and unresolved till humanity exists, because we are all approaching it through predominantly different approaches. Maybe a person who believes approaches through the heart. The person who doesn't believe approaches through the mind. The person who is yet to make up his mind is still deciding which instrument to use to find out the answer to his question. And hence he said it's a paradox with which we have to live forever, and there is no need for anyone to break their head upon it. Extremely interesting perspective, and I thought I would end this episode today and place it in front of you for you to ruminate over it. Till we meet again in the next episode. Thank you.